This is the axe that I wanted to show you guys. This was one of the first axes that I made for Jack. It's a boy's axe. It's a 2-pound Collins head, and it belonged to my grandfather, and I made the handle years ago. Kids' axes, they kind of take a beating. You know, sometimes they get left out, you know, out in the weather and chopping in the dirt and who knows what, you know, so this just kind of goes along with it. So it was in pretty bad shape, and it was a little rusty on the end and some chips in it. I went over to the wheel, and I was just gonna, you know, try to put a quick edge on it, and what I came away with was one of the best edges I've ever done inside of almost just a little over a minute. So I want to duplicate what I just did because I just couldn't believe it. It's actually shaving sharp with almost no effort. So I've got the Trail Boss. Let's take a close look. I'll show you Jack's, and I'll show you this edge, and then we'll reproduce that whole thing. It's amazing. And I know it's not perfect, but I can tell you from experience, to take a axe head that was in such bad shape and go to this in a minute is pretty incredible. And here we have the Trail Boss after probably 4 hours. I split kindling, and you know, just the other day after sharpening. I mean, there's no damage to it. It's got a nice clean edge on it, which is a testimony to the quality of the steel, right? I mean, I put pretty thin grinds on my axes, and that has a tendency to make a edge that's not as durable, but it is very high performance. So just to give you an idea, I can take a glove right here just to show you that this is indeed not very sharp after a lot of use. As I'm pulling on this pretty hard, I can't cut this glove with the axe. So that's the before. And very quickly, while we're here, here's the boy's axe that I just touched up, and you can see it is indeed beyond sharp. Yeah, I know you guys probably guessed it. I mentioned that I wanted to revisit this, and a lot of you asked about trying out the MDF sharpener on the axes, and that's exactly what I did for the first time this morning. But I did change a couple things. So I know there's a lot of people watching for the very first time. Let me very briefly show you what this is, and then we'll get into how I did it and how well it worked. And we'll do a sharpness test at the end. And this, of course, is the sharpening system. These are nothing more than MDF wheels. I went online, and there's several videos of guys showing how you can make your own. So if you want to just go buy a piece of MDF, you can do this without, I mean, just do it on yourself. You don't have to buy anything. Well, so what I did that was different from last week is I had my wheel turning towards me, and it was a little bit spooky because it just seemed awkward. I had to kind of sharpen at a weird angle. So what I did is I flipped the motor over in the base, so now it rotates this way, and that's changed everything. I can walk up to the wheel, and it's turning away from me, and it's much more ergonomic and a way, way better system. So let's fire it up, and I'll show you in real time how quick we can put a perfect edge on an axe with this. We'll do this together in real time, so there's no question about it. So this is the Cold Steel Trail Boss. And again, the simplicity of it, having it all ready and not having to go get stuff is nice. Oh, my axe is dull, or my whatever's dull, let's fix it. Now this is also coming from, this is the third time that I've used this, so there's not even really a learning curve. So I just started over here, and I just kind of went up on the wheel just off the center right there. Seems to be about the right angle. And just watch that handle, you don't rub that, and we'll just grind the we'll flip it over. I don't know if I'm exposed for that. I mean, that is right there is just awesome. And that's just 2 passes, just there and back. Let's flip it over there and back. And then we'll come over here to the other side. We can put a little bit of rouge on there if we want. The same thing. I went 3 times on Jack's axe. I'm basically just holding it flat, guys. Flip it over. Really no skill required. And then I just took, just very lightly on the other side, just one pass. That's it. I don't know how long that took, but it's probably about 90 seconds or so. Let's go take a look at it close up, and then I'll show you how sharp it is. Now here's the Trail Boss after just that quick sharpening right there. You can see very nice consistent angle on there, very little material removed, and a high polish, like a mirror polish finish on there. And I can tell you, it is absolutely sharp. I mean, to get an edge like that, to do by hand, you know, by the time I take everything and, you know, get everything set up and put away, you know, it's a better part of an hour versus just not, you know, it's not stopping what you're doing, run over there, hit the switch, and you're good to go. Let's see how it cuts the glove. Remember before? Right there. I mean, just to give you an idea. Will it shave? Because, I mean, that's really the true test. If you can shave with an axe, if you can actually shave arm hair, you're just not going to do any better than that. You getting that? This is a $30 axe, guys. This is a cold steel Trail Boss that was sharpened on an MDF wheel in about a minute or two. Look at that. Absolutely hair splitting, shaving, sharp.